What up, y'all? It's Malik. Soaring Stands is the brand. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into this, man. A surrendered heart is golden, bro. To the God of Israel, bro. A surrendered heart, bro. Bro, in the kingdom, we got so much people who have that form of godliness, but they don't have that surrendered heart. You feel me? They don't have that surrendered heart, bro. A lot of people in the kingdom, they don't have a surrendered heart, bro. They have that form of godliness, but their hearts are far from God. Their hearts are far from the God of Israel, right? You got a lot of people right now who say they got a surrendered heart, but when you really look at their life, they don't really got a surrendered heart at all, bro. At all. And there's a lot of people in the kingdom like this who have that form of godliness, but they don't have a surrendered heart. A surrendered heart is golden to the God of Israel, bro. It's golden, bro. Because it's like when you have a surrendered heart, now you could start developing. It's like, how do I say it, right? Excuse me. When you have a surrendered heart, you start to develop a pure in heart. And when you start to develop a pure in heart, now you're not becoming double minded. And now you're becoming single in your heart. Like you're developing a pure in heart. You're not being double minded. Because remember what the Bible say, right? A double minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? So it's like once you start to develop a surrendered heart, whoo, it's just something about it, bro. It's just something about it because when you look around in the kingdom, majority of people walking around in the kingdom, they don't got a surrendered heart. They just love being, they just love having that godly appearance, but they don't have a surrendered heart, man. When you have a surrendered heart, you honest, bruh. You authentic with your stuff. You really authentic when you with your stuff when you're honest from when you're surrendered from the heart and you honest and you're straightforward. There's no games about your relationship with God. It's just straight authentic honesty, bro. You know, it's just like when a surrendered heart is in the kingdom, you could just tell, bro. They just authentic. They most likely 9 times out of 10 pure in heart. They honest. They transparent. They they surrender to God completely. You know, they surrender to God completely. Like their lives are is in God's hands completely. They not trying to live a double life, meaning they in the kingdom then in the world at the same time. No, they just fully in the kingdom. You know, when a person has a surrendered heart, they just fully in the into the kingdom, bro. Their hearts are not divided. Their hearts are not double minded. It's just their hearts are just completely in the kingdom. Completely. There's no swaying them. If you go try to sway them to go this way or that way, they not budging, bro. They just surrendered, bro. You know? When you have a surrendered heart, that thing, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. That's why I do these messages to help people out here because when you have a surrendered heart, it's just it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's golden. It's golden because there's not a lot of people that have a surrendered heart towards God. You got a lot of people just faking the funk. You got a lot of people just having that form of godliness. You got a lot of people just walking around like they anointed, you know? You got a lot of people walking around like they anointed, but they don't have a surrendered heart. So how you anointed, bruh? They don't have a surrendered heart. Everybody's just trying to have that form of godliness. Everybody's trying to be the chosen one. Have you noticed that? Everybody trying to be the chosen one. Every everybody and their mama trying to be a chosen one, bro. But nobody wants to have a surrendered heart towards God, the God of Israel. You can't make this up. Everybody wants to be anointed. Everybody wants to be a chosen one. Everybody wants to be the chosen one, the black sheep of the family. But nobody wants to be the surrendered, the person with the surrendered heart. Nobody wants to surrender their heart no more. Everybody wants to live a double life when it comes to God. Everybody wants to have that form of God. Oh, let's go to church. Let's go to church and put on the clothes and act like we got God, and then come home and live for the world. That's what people be doing in the kingdom. You got, you know, a lot of them dressed in the form of godliness, getting dressed for church, put on the church shoes, all of that, man. And then going to church and praising God, then coming home and living for the world. That's not a surrendered heart. A surrendered heart is when you're just completely single for God. You just completely living your life for God and not for the world. You're not on the fence. You're not, bro. You just completely in the kingdom. That's a surrendered heart, bro. You just completely in the kingdom. You just trying your absolute power and best to obey God. You're trying your best, even though it's hard. Obeying God is not easy. You know, you're trying your best to obey God. You're trying your best to listen. You're trying your best to be honest. You're trying your best to do His will. That's a surrendered heart, bro. You're trying your little best to do His will. Nothing in this world excites you no more. You're not even in the world. You're just you're just trying your best to live for God, man. You're just trying to do His will, most importantly, you know? That's a surrendered heart when all you worry about is doing His will, man. Now, of course, you got a life of your own, but a surrendered heart really has undivided attention to doing God's will, man. Nothing in this world excites you no more. You just head on with the will, man. Trying your best to do His will. That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful because it's golden. A surrendered heart is golden because there's so much people in the kingdom just not even 1 minute they thinking about doing the will, and the next minute they thinking about, oh, what designer brand should I wear? What designer brand should I buy? Should I buy some designer shoes? Should I do this? Should I go to a party all the way out of town? Them people be 1 minute in the kingdom, next the other foot in the world, worrying about the things of the world, bruh. Worrying about the things of the world, man. 1 foot in the kingdom, the other foot in the world, worrying about gossip, or man, they don't have a surrendered heart, bro. They don't have a surrendered heart. A real surrendered heart, bruh. You would just know, bruh. It's just you just have your full attention on God, bro. Even though we all have lives and God wants us to enjoy our lives sometimes, right? When you are truly surrendered, bro, you just have that real focus on God completely. Nothing in this world excites you no more. Nothing in this world makes you dance for joy. Only doing God's will makes you. It's like when you have a surrendered heart, you start to develop a heart to please God. Literally, bro. I seen this in my life. From talking from experience, I seen this from my life. When I have a surrendered heart, I noticed my surrendered heart, right? I started developing traits to pleasing God, bro. Literally, bro. It's like once I started to have a surrendered heart for many years, bro, I start to realize most of what makes me happy and joyous or joyful, right? Is what makes me happy is I started to develop a heart to please God, bro. I'm like, yo, what's going on? It's a surrendered heart. That's what's going on. It's a surrendered heart, bro. Because it's like, once you surrender your heart for so long, you start to develop traits to only please God and do His will, and to develop a relationship with Him. And you start to want to really do His will by any means, bro. By any means, bro. And it starts to make your heart really pure, bro. When you're surrendered, how do you say it? When you really surrendered to the God of Israel, it just start to make your heart pure, you know? Now, fasting and praying makes your heart pure, too. It makes your heart really pure. But it's like, once you start to surrender, it's just a different life to it. It's just different. It's just something different about it. It's like, you know, you want to know why a lot of people's hearts are far from God? Because they never surrendered to God. They never wanted to build a relationship. They wanted to have that form of godliness. That's why a lot of people's hearts in the kingdom are so far from God, and they don't really just their hearts are more into the world. So it's like their hearts are, they get caught up in the ways of this life, or in the ways of the world, man, and it's like their hearts start to drift away and become far from the Lord. But it's like once you really surrender, bro, mm, 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 it's like it's just a breathtaking. It's just what I'm trying to say. It's just really a breath of fresh air, bro. Literally, that's all. That's how I could explain it. It's a breath of fresh air, bro. Seriously, my fault, guys. It's a breath of fresh air because it's just something about it, bro. It's just something about when you have a surrendered heart. And it's like once you have a surrendered heart, which is golden to God, you know, you start to get close to the Holy Spirit. You start to get close to the Black Messiah. You start to get closer to the God of Israel. It's like, bro, a surrendered heart is really golden, bro. It's really golden, bro. And that's why I'm making this message, because just like I practice what I preach and I have my surrendered heart, I'm making this message so y'all can get your surrendered heart. You got to really surrender, bro. When you're trying to follow the God of Israel, you got to really surrender, bro. Ain't no, oh, let me keep my foot in the world and my foot into the kingdom. Ain't no that, man. Like the Bible say, choose this day whom you will serve, bro. You can't serve two masters. Some people got one foot in the kingdom, one foot in the world. What are you doing? You gotta really be surrendered. You really gotta pick a side. Pick a side, bro. Some people pick the side of the enemy. Hey, that's their life, and that's what they gotta deal with when they meet God face to face one day. That's what they gotta deal with. You gotta choose whom you will serve. You can't serve two masters. You can't be like, oh, let me follow God on the weekends and then put my other foot in the world on the rest of the days. Dog, you gotta be like this every day. I'm like this every day, bro. Ain't no break. Ain't no break, buddy. Like, I don't say it like that, but it's like you gotta be like this every day, bro. You got a real surrendered heart. You gotta be like this every day, bro. You gotta be constantly trying to please God and do His will. You know, you gotta really do His will, man. And it's like it's beautiful, bro. It's like once you surrender to God, you will know what I'm talking about. Once you really surrender to God, once you surrender to the God of Israel, you will start to know what I'm talking about when I say it's just like your heart just in all its ways it wants to please God, bro. It's like once I started to develop a surrendered heart so much, it's like in every action I do, I want to please God and do His will, bro. And it's like it's just that. Once you have a surrendered heart, it becomes that, man. So it's like you would know what I'm talking about when you start to develop your own surrendered heart. For the people that be like, I never felt that. You gonna feel it once you start to develop what do you call it? Surrendered heart towards the God of Israel. You will know what I'm talking about. You be like, damn, it's like everything I do now, I want to please God and do His will and build a relationship and fast and pray and and just focus on Him. Once you have a surrendered heart, bro, it's like you become one with God. That's how I can explain it. Literally, that's like a beautiful, you know, it's like how I would explain it. It's like you start to really become one with God. Literally, that's how I can explain it. It's like you become one with God, and it's like for real because you start to inhabit, you start to develop traits that you only want to please God with, that you want to where you want to how do I say it? You want to do his will. You want to make him proud, and you want to please him. It's like them traits. You start to become one with God when you have a surrendered heart. It's like that's how I explain it. Excuse the sun right here. But shoot, but yeah, that's how I explain it, bruh. Once you start becoming one with God, it's like, man, it's like you become. It, how do I explain it? It's like I keep losing train of thought, but the surrendered heart. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, man, it's like that's how I explain it. You know. Now, if you don't have a surrendered heart, right, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. You probably would be like, well, you become one with God. It's like, and then you got them type of people who be like, what about my desires? That's how I know you don't got a surrendered heart. Because once you got a surrendered heart, it's like all your desires go out the window. And I'm not talking about you completely let your desires go. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. But it's like your desires become secondary. That's what I'm trying to say. Your desires, once you start to have a surrendered heart, your desires become secondary. And then his desires become first. You feel me? It's like it naturally becomes first. His pleasing him and making him proud and doing his will becomes first once you have a surrendered heart. And then your desires become second. It's like, damn, man. You know? Also, the Holy Spirit. It's like they desires become first in your life once you have a surrendered heart. It's just, it naturally happens. It's like, you can't make this, it just naturally happens. I'm not saying it like, it forces you to, no, it just naturally happens once you have a surrendered heart. It's just, you start to have a heart for God. You start to become one with him. Once you have a surrendered heart, you just want to always please him, want to do his will. Everything that is of God becomes first. It's like that's all you want to do, you know? You want to please him. You want to do his will. You want to try your best to obey and listen. Because obeying and listening is really a tough job. It's really hard. You know, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's easy. And I'm not going to sit here and act like having a surrendered heart is easy. There's some days where, your desires get in the way, of course, because you're human, but having a surrendered heart is golden to the God of Israel. It's golden, bro. That's how I can explain it. It's golden, bro. It's golden, man. It's like it's golden because everybody don't have a surrendered heart in the kingdom. You might think everybody does, but everybody don't got a surrendered heart in the kingdom. A lot of people, like the Bible say, has that form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. They deny it. A lot of people in the kingdom have that form of it, but deny the power. The power of God. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful when you surrender your heart towards God. And I'm making this message because I did this stuff. I did this stuff when I first came into the kingdom, man. I did this stuff, bro. I did this stuff, man. When I'm gonna say this, man. When I came into the kingdom, man, I really wanted God, man. I was hungry for the God of Israel, bro. I would spend a lot of time in my room reading the Word. I didn't even, and this is when I first started. I didn't know what I was reading, but I was hungry. I was hungry, man. That's what your hunger separates you from people who have that form of godliness and people that have the surrendered heart. It separates you from the form. It separates you from the people who have the form. Because now once you come into the kingdom, you're really hungry and you're really trying to surrender your heart towards God. You're really hungry. Because a lot of people ain't hungry when they come into the kingdom. A lot of people just be playing around. But when I first came into the kingdom, I started surrendering my heart, and I really was reading the Word. Every time I came home from school, I would just, hey, bro, let's read the Word. Let's spend time with God. A lot of times, I wouldn't spend time with God, and a lot of times I would just be hungry, bro. I'd be hungry. I'd read the Word and didn't know what I was reading, but I was hungry for God. I would spend most of my time in the room growing up. And most of my family thought I was losing it, but nah, I was just hungry. I was just hungry, bro. And it really separates you from your family as well, because your family will start to think you're crazy once you start to develop a surrendered heart. They'll start to think you're crazy. No, bro. You're just hungry. You're just chasing God. Something they ain't doing. So they would think you crazy for chasing God. Because it's unfamiliar to them. You feel me? It's unfamiliar territory to them. So they will be like, what you doing, man? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? But you're too busy chasing God. They don't understand the surrendered heart. They don't understand that at all, bro. They don't understand it because it's unfamiliar territory, man. They don't understand when somebody really is trying to get God and surrender their heart to Him. They don't understand that process. They don't. So they'll think you're crazy. But I pray that y'all get a surrendered heart in God, because having a surrendered heart is golden to the God of Israel. It's golden, bro. It's golden. Ain't no other. It's golden. It's a diamond. Because everybody don't have a surrendered heart, brother. You know, everybody don't have a surrendered heart. Everybody just playing. Most of the people, not all, of course, I can't say all in the kingdom, but most of them just be playing, bro. Just be playing and don't have one foot in the kingdom, one foot in the world, bro. You really have to have a surrendered heart. It's like, in this kingdom, having a surrendered heart is just, it's starting to feel like one of a kind, because everybody don't have a surrendered heart, you know, but once you have it, it's golden, bro. Really surrender yourself to God, man, and live for Him. You know, this is the stuff I did, you know, for 13 years now, following God. You know, I surrendered my heart to God, and I, I noticed that difference. It's like my desires and everything became secondary, and His desires became my own. You know, ooh, it became my own, bro. It's like it happened naturally. It didn't. He didn't force it on me and be like, "Oh, Malik, I want you to keep my will and please me first, and I'm forcing you to do it." Nah, he didn't say none of that. It happened naturally. It happened naturally. I wanted to please Him naturally. I wanted to make Him happy naturally. I wanted to do His will and have a beautiful relationship with Him naturally. I wanted to make Him proud naturally. I wanted to do His will by any means. Focus, tunnel vision, naturally. That's a surrendered heart, bro. When the world don't bring you happiness no more, it's just like you have a real surrendered heart. You're not following the world. You don't have 2 feet, 1 feet in the kingdom, 1 feet in the world. You just surrendered. You just follow God completely. And a lot of people ain't following God completely with their heart, mind, and soul. Everybody's just not surrendered like that. But I pray that you surrender. Really surrender your heart. And keep, if you really want to follow the God of Israel, keep Him first, man. Really surrender your heart to Him, man. Cause it's a difference, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Every experience and feeling that I told y'all in this video, only a surrendered heart will understand what I'm talking about. Only a surrendered heart will understand that part I'm talking about, where it's just like all of that stuff happened naturally when you following God and you surrender your heart. It's just like you just want to do His will naturally. He didn't force you. You just naturally want to please Him. That's a surrendered heart, bro. And you just want to do it completely. That's a surrendered heart, you know. But it's Malik Soaring Stands the brand, man. Y'all be cool, man. Y'all check out my website. I got short stories on there. I got audio messages on there. I got spiritual art on there. I got a book coming. We cooking, man. We cooking, man. And then I got other stuff I'm working on too. So it's just like, hey, yo, it's fun being multi-talented for God, because it's like you could have many hats on. You can have many hats on, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's a blessing for real, man. I'm humbled, but y'all be cool, man.